So this happened a couple of weekends ago when my dad decided it was time for life skills boot camp. He announced to the family that Saturday morning would be devoted to learning how to change a tire, which, in his words, was more important than algebra, and probably more useful than knowing how to program the DVR. My siblings and I were half awake and only mildly interested, mostly because Dad's lessons usually ended with snacks, and also because we'd seen enough YouTube fails to know this could go either way. We trudged out to the driveway where Dad's sedan was already jacked up on some suspiciously new-looking cinder blocks. He had everything laid out, a giant wrench, a jack, that we apparently didn't need, a bunch of lug nuts lined up on a towel, and a tire covered with a sheet. He was wearing his world's okayest mechanic apron and already had grease on his forehead, which in retrospect should have tipped us off. Dad started his usual lecture, talking about the importance of safety and how changing a tire was all about confidence and torque. We watched as he pantomimed loosening the lug nuts, and then had us each take a turn. After about 2 hours of struggling with an invisible flat, Dad finally declared it was time to put on the spare. He whipped the sheet off with a flourish, expecting applause, but instead we were all greeted by the unmistakable aroma of pepperoni and melted cheese. There, sitting where a spare tire should have been, was a large, extra cheese pizza on a metal tray. My little sister immediately asked if this was part of the lesson or if Dad had just gotten really creative with snack time. Dad, trying to maintain his authority, insisted this was a metaphor for staying well-rounded in life, but even he was cracking up at this point. We spent the next hour debating if pizza was technically a good substitute for a Michelin, and whether or not a deep dish would have more tread. By the time Mom came outside to see what all the laughter was about, we were eating slices off the spare and discussing which toppings provided the best grip on wet roads. So if you ever see us roadside with a pizza under our car, don't worry, we're just delivering a whole new meaning to rolling out the dough.